All right, I just want to go over a quick little TA session, just kind of, something I do to keep things simple, and then we'll go over and look at kind of see what CPI did the last couple of times and kind of get a little game plan for CPI on Thursday, which, kind of the market's kind of just waiting for. So the main thing, what we're looking at is on ES. This is a new chart. I don't have any levels or anything on this chart. I deleted it, started a new thing. So let's see if I can nail this down. So basically we've been, in this range right here. We finally broke out on Friday, kind of pulled back, and then, retrace. So it seems like every time we have our consolidation, we usually break to the upside or to the downside. That's something we got to look forward to. We do make these pretty solid moves of these consolidations. Consolidation here. Consolidation here. So, these are your range days, and then, you have your trending days. And we'll look into what ES looks kind of closer, but, I'm just getting a little grasp. But, what I like to always say is you don't have to be that first person to get that move. If we're going to be able to break out of this range, we have a pretty good strong upside out of this range here, downside this. We came back up, retrace it, continued up. Here, same thing, came back up, retraced to it, decided I want to continue back up. So that's kind of, I think, what happened today is we had a retracement. So you don't always have to be the first person, longer term. You don't have to be that first person to, call the bottom. But basically we had, our little breakout we're just going to mark up some levels. To keep them simple, I love to just stick with key levels. So of course, the main one everyone kind of is just watching is this 3,900. Which technically was, what I look for my key level is a level that's, that was a support, that's become a resistance, that's become a support, that's become a resistance. So something that keeps going back and forth. And that is a key level to me. You can tell this 3,900, it's definitely a psych level, but in previous past resistance supports, this is, we were able to break above it once, but that was overnight actually. But pretty nice resistance. And overall, what do we do kind of in the higher time frame? If you go up to like the 4 hour, the higher time frames, we had a beautiful retest of this 3,900 level today. Right here. So you have that breakout, you have that retest. Definitely gonna be watching this upper area where we sold off. If we are able to push tomorrow on this little area up here, we can mark it as up as a supply. And see if they want to accept buyers up there and continue in the continuation up. But if you guys are able to keep, kind of my one-on-one, I always try to get people to kind of zoom out. When I'm doing a one-on-one with a lot of people, they're doing this, and this is what they're looking at during the day. We'll go there actually during the day. So, they're looking at this. But if you're able to actually kind of go into a higher time frame, yes, you're still scalping. Yes, you're still, you could still scalp on a higher time frame. I do drop to the smaller time frame to get, kind of get the perfect enters and exit. But on this higher time frame, this was just a beautiful, kind of that retest of that 3,900 breakout level. So today, just go back to what we did today. I marked my levels up pre-market. So we had overnight lows. Down here, overnight lows. Tuesday, so we're back here. Well, that's today's overnight lows. Okay, we're over here. Today's Tuesday. Well, that's probably one reason. Tuesday there. Okay, there we go. Time was off. So, we were looking at, Sunday, we had that little gap up, nice push up Sunday. I think the market got it kind of too ahead of itself. And I got too ahead of itself, kind of pushed up too hard. That's why we kind of sold off. We were able to, hold 3,900 as support. Going forward, that's where you want to definitely watch as a support, 3,900. But, marking up over overnight highs and overnight lows, I'll put up a statistic for you guys. Once I copy and paste it here, is in a if we're broken, Darren, the ES, if we're in range, higher than range, lower than range, but these, the statistics, still, the stats still pretty much above 90%, but overnight highs, overnight lows. So we have a 95% of chance of breaking this higher than range. I think yesterday we were lower than range, so we were looking at this area. So overnight high or overnight low, we have a 93.39% chance of breaking overnight highs and overnight lows. So that's just, pretty solid statistic. So that's what you want to be looking at market open. So right before market opened, we were pretty much opening up in between. I had overnight, that was my key levels. Overnight high, overnight lows. We, had that fake Powell. He didn't really say anything. So I kind of faked people out. But what I saw, going into market open, we kind of had kind of a flag going into market open. Just good consolidation, a good half-hour consolidation. Most days we don't have this going into market open. And right there was, a good opportunity to go long. I definitely missed it. I really been sitting out in the first couple minutes, but this alone is a pretty, good risk to reward. If we're gonna break down, I'd put my stop like right down here at 3904, even 3900 hold. And that risk to reward definitely off the bat could have been a really, really wise one, but really quick, you got to be pretty on that to get that. But the main thing is this consolidation box. We came back to it and was able to retest it. So buyers here, sellers up here, they got more buyers up here, and they're able to continue even higher and higher and higher. But there's that overnight high, basically within 1 minute, taken out. That statistic, we're, with that statistic, you're obviously have a greater chance when you're closer to that overnight high to actually take that one out. But looking into, the other plays I saw today, we kind of just had this uptrend. You guys should be, kind of charting overall every day. I'm kind of moving this. I kind of like this one. This one, if you go over to NQ, you kind of want to do ES and NQ at the same time, have them both up at the same time. So one kind of makes it a little bit obvious, and the other one could make it a little bit tougher to look. So today we had this kind of showed a little better bear flag that kind of actually broke higher than I thought. I didn't think we'd actually make a new high up here, but pretty decent sell off. Just a simple trend up, trend direction changed with force. Probably pop up volume. I don't have any indicators on here right now. Pop up volume, and this pretty strong move down. Just this little move. NQ's 85 points. Pretty solid day. On that one, but also with ES here breakdown, we kind of just consolidated. But what I do at 10:30 is I take the initial balance, which is going to be your high and low of basically your 1 hour candle from 9:30 to 10:30. So you want to take the high and the low from your 9:30 to 10:30. Right here. And what I do is do your fib and IB. So it gives me, the 0, the 0.5, and the 1. So it gives you the high, low, and mid. Kind of it makes it a lot easier for me to do that. And that's just giving you your initial balance of that 1 hour candle. And you can tell these levels actually play out pretty well overall and give you a lot of, just simple levels. This is like basically free levels right here. So, based on that statistic, let's see if I can paste it again. That statistic is also on here. Your initial balance is going to be this top one. So with ES lower range, we have a 97.9% chance of breaking that initial balance. So we're actually higher, 10, 9:30 to 10:30. So, we broke it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to. I really like when we open up in the middle and we could go to either side and then break it then there. But we, when that initial balance was open, we were here and, kind of broke it down here. But, overall, look at how this initial balance this middle area played a pretty, support here, resistance, resistance. And then later in the day, that was a good time to go long with your stop just underneath it. We went long. You take your initial balance mid, you go to your high, your IB high. But overall, even let's break above, test, break. With trend days, what I like to see is if we're able to break to the upside, I like to see kind of us hold that high and then continue up. So this is basically just 3 easy, pretty simple levels that you can use just based on your first candle high to low. And what I always like to do is play the outside in. If we're able to revert back to the mean. So this right here, our statistic was already broken. So when we hit down here, we kind of reverted back to the mean. And that's, the initial balance of that first hour candle, which is the candle that has the most volume in the day besides the last one. So it definitely was another solid play. Nice key level. Overall, just pretty choppy day. 39.35 to 39.04, basically a 31 point range for most of the day. Pretty boring. Today was a day just kind of walk away, not kind of get stuck in any plays. Unless you had the nice direction, you had that first up, first down, and whatnot. Looking at other tickers, SPY. Something I got caught on today was, so when I was doing one-on-one, I told the guy I do the one-on-one with, I was like, watch these watch these levels. All you want to do is kind of find pivots of previous areas. So you got one here. This pivot here, we're able to go down. You can tell this is a nice support. And then this was our kind of our hard resistance right here at open. Of course, everyone knows the 390 We could do 390 and then 393, which was where we stopped out at the top here. So we marked up these levels the other day. You could tell pretty much Friday's highs was pretty much our resistance on SPY most of the day. But once we're able to break, we were able to break above, tested at 390, came down and retested and pretty much held on the higher time frame and continued up. So just keeping this simple, no indicators on this chart. What I'm looking for, when I want to keep things simple, is just a key level break, a retest, and then a continuation, basically ABC pattern or whatever people call it. But on that key, that key level, look at how many times we've touched. 1, we broke above. 2, 3, 4, consolidated over it. If you missed the initial breakout, you just wait for the retest. And the retest usually has a bigger opportunity than the actual breakout. And that's what I got. I think I got stopped out right here. I went MNQ short and I took my, $100 loss on MNQ. But if I would have held it, definitely would have went green. So that's SPY. Also, I like to chart SPX, kind of just keeping levels simple. I wish I had my other levels, but 3,900, of course, is a huge, huge level on SPX. I'll actually grab my phone and look at what the other levels I have. $39.15. So feel free to mark these down. Like $39.50. 38.75. 38.40. And the good old 4,000. So this is what we're looking at on SPX. I like to kind of chart each one different. ES, SPY, and SPX. I just prefer to chart kind of everyone a little different. So I can just flip through them and try to figure out where what we're seeing. But definitely, that you can tell looking at SPX at 3,900 level. Tuesday, rejection here, rejection came up, was a support continuation up, key psych level, nice even number right there. Definitely helped out more than, kind of looking at ES where it was 39.20, just thinking of SPX 3,900 is definitely a lot easier on that level. So if we're able to continue up, definitely watching 39.50, and then after that, probably 4,000. Of course, CPI, who knows what's going to happen with that. We'll go ahead and just do a couple equity and go. Voice keeps cutting out. I'll move a little closer to the mic. Hopefully it picks it up a little bit better. But equities, Apple, I gave this app, this little thing to Apple the other couple of weeks ago, maybe last month. And we're just in this triangle today, and we're able to, like I said, if you miss the breakout, you're always going to have an opportunity to get back in. You have to break down, the retest, and then the continuation. The continuation, you're always going to make more. So what I'm definitely looking for on Apple is just a strength. I love to watch Apple as a strength or a weakness in the market. Today, Tesla and Apple are definitely a little weak, so I'm surprised SPY kind of pushed second day and whatnot. So AMD will mark up these levels. They're every $1.83. $73. All right, sorry, my voice is. I don't know why my voice is cutting out. Try to sit right in front of the mic so it doesn't really cut out at all. But AMD, you know, if you want to keep things simple, just do these key levels. And what we're looking for is just former resistance here. And, you know, you could definitely draw a box. A resistance became support. Support bounce here became resistance. Resistance broke back. Here's another resistance. Eventually, we're able to break up. If you missed that breakout day right there, we're able to come back and actually touch it and then continue up. You tell AMD. So we're looking for kind of 71.5 to the upside if we're able to actually push, which gives you a nice support, became resistance, and we actually have not been able to cut back and get to it again. Meta's doing really well. I know I saw a lot of flow going into kind of longer term bearish for earnings, but Meta definitely was just a simple. I mean, if you had this up on your chart, just 125, 126 level, where was the support? A support here became resistance, became a resistance. We're able to break above, bounce right off of it, and, you know, it gave us another little tiny bounce here. So, you know, Meta has been strong going up. And to the downside, we were able to, I think, during with after hours on or off, definitely helps with that. We didn't. This was kind of pre-market where we broke down. Netflix, I was waiting for Netflix 300. Was a huge level on Netflix that I kind of missed. Missed on Netflix. You have, you know, your resistance support became resistance, became a support here, became a resistance or another resistance here, and we kind of just took off. We weren't able to retrace down back to it. So I was waiting for the retracement of it, but we never ever got it. So I was kind of missed out on that one. The other levels I had on Netflix were $310, which our low today was $310. So resistance, kind of a support here. Resistance, support, became another resistance, became a support today. And to the upside, we had 329, which was basically this high resistance, and then once again, possibly a resistance today. So if Netflix does want to continue, I'm definitely watching a break and retest of Netflix 329 level. Tesla's been just completely selling off lately. But one thing that's good about Tesla is you just wait for the consolidation to end, and you can definitely catch a nice move to the downside. Consolidation, nice move downside. But my Tesla levels, I actually thought we would actually see sub 100 on Tesla, but we did not. So it's just gonna mark up these levels. Might as well just add 100 because that's where we bounced at that low. But looking at how Tesla performed, you know, right here, 121 was a kind of a support here. Support bounce became lower to the support from this bounce, definitely showing weakness. We were able to break below, retest this 116 level. You could tell it was a support here that became a resistance, became a support here, broke below, another resistance was acted as a decent support today, kind of broke below, but decent support in that 121 level or 110. Every level I have up here is a nice former support that becomes a resistance. So usually, it's really nice to show on NVIDIA. You just watch NVIDIA, shows it really, really well. You just have these key levels right here. You have 149. And then to the upside, I think I have 154.5. So I usually go round numbers, but this one I didn't. So you have basically 2 days of chop, 2 days of consolidation right here. You're waiting for the breakdown or the breakout of this level. It's just a waiting game. If you're able to see this at any ticker, definitely a waiting game. Definitely watch it and wait for it to break out from here. You can tell 1, 2, 3 touches on 154.5, 1, 2, 2 touches on 150, 149. Let's go back to actually where it was, and you can tell it was just straight off open with force, probably huge volume on the sell-off, but of course you have your little, if you do miss it, kind of mark up your bear flag. And this could be your second entry. Usually you retrace, little bear flag up, continue down. So if you're able to miss this one, you're going to move up kind of in a consolidation and then continue down. We can tell that 149 level, definitely a key level. Right here, support, beautiful resistance here, beautiful resistance there. We're able to break above, so it's kind of showing weakness. We gapped way up here. And of course, here's your, that 154.5 level. This is the beautiful breakout, huge breakout. We weren't able to grab that. You could have taken the breakout, but I like playing the pullback to that level and then continuation up. So NVIDIA, definitely another miss today. I need to get multi-screen back up, but nice 4% move on NVIDIA. So market's waiting on CPI. You can tell. Let's just go over to CPI data, and that's going to end it for today. Pretty much looking at the chart, I can tell you this is CPI right here. And this is CPI. Oops, I actually timed them out by accident, so I started meeting. And then I have the last one was December 13th. Right there. So here, here's our 3 CPI levels. And let me erase everything else. So we'll just go kind of in depth in these levels and then, kind of show you what my game plan is with these and whatnot. So we could go pop on the 15-minute, go to the first one. All right, so with these big moves pre-market, most people play options Or you know, you can catch nice moves on futures. Whether the CPI news is bullish or bearish, what I always like to watch is kind of the high and the low of this candle. So nice, you know, this one we actually opened up right here at the low, and then a nice just continuation up. Once we break above, definitely shows huge bullish momentum. Usually you want to take a kind of a little supply on this news. You always want to take your high and low kind of zones, which had initial nice rejection here, but nothing really came of it just because that news was so bullish. But overall, you know, if you didn't want to play that run up, you could take in that bounce above right here of these highs right here, pre-market highs right here, and then that continuation up. Definitely gave beautiful entry if you weren't able to, you know, if you're kind of looking bearish on CPI, especially after the big self. A lot of people, big self, they trap people who want to go short right here, and then they just go long. So that's why I always like to wait a little bit before getting into any plays when these data hit. But this one was pretty interesting. This was like one of the few that actually just ran from the data, just continued up. But the best thing to do is market open, just let the market decide if it's bullish or bearish. Don't look at this huge candle. You know, I just like to keep the highs and lows, but you know, overall, during market hours, this really gave us no entries for shorts. Every candle opened above, so these are all two ups, you know, for strat people, until we get to 11:45 was actually our first kind of little dip. So during this whole run up, really gave us no entries or short. There's no point of shorting that one. Let's go to the next one. And I do this on every news. You take the high and the low, and what I like to do is kind of do higher time frame and wait for that inside bar. Especially like with FOMC, kind of wait for that inside bar to happen. And like, oh, I mean, this one was super bullish too. But CPI, I mean, CPI week is one of the biggest movers in CPI week. But you kind of take this high and low right here. Market opened, we were able to hold that CPI high, nice 15-minute candle, and then, you know, basically gave us no reason to go short after that. And then our next one was actually our bearish one, which CPI lows have been pivots recently, except for this last one. We're actually right here. 8:15, 8:30 candle. So I think this one was leaked. So it was pushed super early. We pushed at 8:15 for some reason. But take the high and the low of that first 15-minute candle from that news, and pretty much simple. Market opened up. We weren't able to break the highs, so we obviously were going back to lows. Kind of consolidated here. Wasn't able to retest that CPI low, and then just continued down. And so you can tell even later in the day, or the next day, actually, next day, that level from that CPI low definitely held as a nice area. But looking at kind of higher time frame on these days is what I really love to do. If I didn't erase it. Just kind of looking at this one. I think we had an hour inside bar right here. No, we didn't really have an inside bar. I think NQ had a double inside bar or something like that. We have this nice retracement and then continuation up. I don't really. Obviously, the bias here is strong. So, looking at this one, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but that's my game plan with CPI. Is I love to mark up that first 15-minute highs and lows, and just see, are we able to break the high of it, or are we able to break the low of it? Just kind of zoom in. 15-minute inside bar, continuation down, inside bar, and then finally broke down from there. Kind of just like, if you're watching these news, what I also like to do is kind of do your supply and demand of these news. This is where we sold off up here. Sometimes we come back up to that price and then sell off again. So that's always kind of keep those things, in the back of your head. And if you don't want to play it, you don't want to play it, especially futures and NQs moving super, super fast. You could be down quick, fast. But, overall, the market is looking a little bullish to me. I don't want it to be, but it is what it is. We had our consolidation and we broke out of it. And then once we break out of it, we usually continue up. But CPI can, data doesn't, that 3,900 level is going to be pretty much key level just going forward. But appreciate it, guys. That's going to end it for me. But unfortunately, 30-day range today of chop. Everyone's waiting for CPI. Powell didn't say anything that would move the market today. But y'all have a great night.